Day, Chief Convener, Nat Inspires. And this morning, I'm going to be doing a little brief analysis on EURUSD. I had a post analysis. I had a pre-analysis on this pair last week, and it's played accordingly on the lower time frame, which was on the 4 hours or 4 hours and the 1 hour. So I would like to briefly talk about that as we get into yesterday was a little bit slow as we get into the week. So so this was where we were as at Friday. This was yesterday, Monday session. So we got into this buys here and we took our first profit here. And yeah, it played well, it played well, it played well. And I had a couple of questions from some of my students that asked why the EURUSD went for buys instead of sells since we had a good report on the NFP, the USD NFP, the US dollar and the US economy NFP. And I think there's something we need to pay attention to when it comes to fundamentals. Like I said, again, I am not a fundamental analysis trader. I am a price action trader and a technical analyst. So what I do is I read the momentum and the activities on the chart, and I use that to my own advantage to get into the sales or get into the buys. So when I got on my system on Friday during the NFP news release, I noticed that the previous result of the NFP was about 500 plus, and what was expected was about 200, and what came out, the actual report was about 300. So even though what came out was better than what was expected, it was still not enough compared to the previous month of January and February. So that means to me, we might be having a little bit of pullback on the USD. So I was in that pullback, and the pullback is for buys. So I was in that pullback. But does that mean we are into the buys for EURUSD? Let us look at this together. So I would like to go to the monthly. I'd like to go to the monthly. Sorry, I mistakenly adjusted my support line there. So I'm trying to get it fixed. All right, I think that's okay. So this is the monthly chart, and on the monthly chart, we can see a channel. We can see a channel that goes like that, a bullish channel trend that goes like that, and now we are ranging here that broke down, and we're back into the space. So, but I want us to notice something. A channel is also a range. That is, I can decide to put my lines like this. I can decide to put my trend line like this. And what you will see is a range tilted to a slight range, tilted a little bit to the upside. So what does that mean for price action traders? Even though we are in a bullish trend, I'm sorry for all the trend lines. I mean, I had to draw some on the lower time frames because, okay, I think what I'm going to do is let me clear the charts so that we can have a clean chart and we know what we're doing. So this is what the monthly chart looks like. And so I said we can draw the range. We can draw the trend line to be something like this. First trend line, we have our second trend line that broke already to the downside and like that. So even though we are in a range tilted, I can call this a bullish trend, though the bullish momentum is not really that obvious. We can see the pullback here. We can see the pullback at the end of the range. Very chubby, broke down. We have a little range also that broke down, and now we are having a retest. So I'm expecting this to continue to the downside on the monthly. So whatever we are having right here to the upside is my discounted price. So even I traded this last week Friday stroke yesterday Monday. That was because I could see the momentum of a retrace to the buy side, and I got into the buys. And I'm already out of it already. I'm out of the buys now, and I'm just going to wait for the bigger time frame to show the next movement. So let's go into the monthly charts now and then expand it. Let's expand it. Let's expand it. Let's expand it. So, but we cannot forget what we are seeing on the chart. Don't let us forget whatever we are seeing on the chart. So I'm going to readjust this channel. This channel is just for us to see what the major trend is doing. I'm going to be drawing my support and resistance line instead of a range. Or should we leave this and let's just leave this and draw a support and resistance line, the one we can see on the monthly. So my first support and resistance line, I can see here. This is my first support and resistance line. Let's see if we have another support and resistance line. Did any of this respect it? Do we have any respect to this? Oh, yes. Let me see if I can adjust that to be very clear. I mean, and why am I having this support and resistance lines? So the first support and resistance, we had this bullish trend, we had a retrace, it broke again to the upper side, chubby. We had a retrace that respected this very first bullish trend here. It went up again, then we have slow. Here, we're supposed to continue. If the bullish trend was strong enough, we're supposed to continue like this to the upside. But that didn't happen. We didn't have a higher high. Instead, it broke down and we are ranging. So to me, I believe the USD is dominating the euro at the moment. And fundamentally, if you look at what is happening in Europe or with the euro currency right now, we know that the US dollar has got some really good momentum when it comes to fundamentals, and there's probability of us having a break to the lower side against the USD and against the euro currency. So right now on the monthly, we have this break, we have this range. Now I'm going to have to clear this. Now we figured out the channel we were talking about on the monthly, but just to make the charts a little bit clearer, I'm going to delete that. Then I have my range. I have my range instead here. I have my range. I mean, let us draw this range out. Let us be sure we have a. Let us be sure we know what we're doing here before we can trade it. We are going to the lower time frame, so we need what is happening currently in recent months. We don't have to go years back. We don't have to go years back. Since we are doing daily trade or weekly trade, we don't have to go years back. This is a monthly chart. That means each candle represents 1 month. So if you go all the way to this place, this is already going back to 2020, 2019, 2018, you see 2017. So about what we want to do is trade the future and on a lower time frame again, not on the monthly, except if you are an investor and you are investing into the market long term. Okay, you might have to now read the chart way back from the left hand side. But for me, I am an intraday trader / swing trader. So that means I trade, and my trading time duration is within a day, few days, a week, 2 weeks max. And sometimes I take my trade 2 weeks, bro. That means if I have to travel, or if I see that the momentum towards my direction at which I've placed my buy or sell is still very strong, I can leave it to catch more profit. But I'm a swing trader. Maximum I've left my trade to run is a week plus. So let's get back to what we're saying. So we had this move to the upside. We have this pullback, which was supposed to launch from here after multiple touches on this particular price zone, but it didn't go. We can see the buyers tried to go up, but very sluggish, and the sellers took over. So right now we are in a sell market. On the, if we look at the weekly, let's go to the weekly. Right now we are in a sell market on the weekly time frame. I mean, this is a huge enough This is a huge enough retracement on the weekly. You can see the choppiness. We can see the choppiness that broke down, support turn resistance. The sellers tried again, couldn't go. The buyers tried, no higher high. Instead, the sellers took over again. So all this to the buy side for me is I'm going to consider a discounted price for me to join the sells again on the weekly time frame. At least I'm looking to join the price to this very price line, because on the monthly we can still see we have a bullish trend, even though the bullish trend is not that strong. But this is the market. We cannot decide for the market. We can only bank on the bigger boys to know what they are doing and also to take some profit off their back. So right now, this is a major resistance zone. This is a major support line for me. And if this price, I can see the way price dropped on the weekly. It dropped heavily. We have a retracement, which is about 35-40% retracement. If you draw your fib, if you are a Fibonacci trader, if you draw your Fibonacci retracement line here, we should be around 35-40. The sellers, let me expand that. The sellers try to come down again with no much action. Now the buyers are in, but you can see for 3 weeks now, see the way the buyers are coming in. I can't really see much momentum in the buyers. See the way the buyers came in here, very strong. From this side, I was in this buy up until this very retracement. I was in this buy and I got out. I think I got out on this very last candle. Don't forget, this is the weekly candle. This is the weekly time frame. And we had this buy going again, but couldn't go. Then the sellers kicked in at this particular resistance here, which belongs to this. This resistance belongs to this very zone. I'm not going to draw that so as to not get the charts messy. Too messy. So, I mean, we have the retrace now. The buyers struggling to go up. The sellers kicked in, breaking a little bit here. Then the buyers, I expect the buyers to do this. Today being Tuesday, I'll be monitoring this chart for New York session. See what the buyers can do. This is on the weekly time frame. I'll be going lower again to like my daily and the 4 hours, but I'll see what the buyers can do for this week. If we have a splash to the upside that breaks above, then I will have to, okay, this is the weekly. I mean, I just want to get my direction straight. Even on the weekly, I won't be trading on the weekly. The weekly is for me to be able to solidify my direction bias, if I'll be going for the buys or I'll be going for the sell. So right now, like I said, on the weekly, we have a very bearish momentum. All this to the buy side for me is a pullback for me to now look for my V formation, which I think might have already happened here. From here to here is my V formation. And now we're having a very sluggish pullback for the buys again. And I might be getting into the sells about when I might be getting back into the sales soon. So I'll be expanding this chart again to the daily to see what's going on. So on the daily time frame, it's almost the same story. Almost the same story as the weekly. We can see the old drop on the daily. We can see the old drop, ranging drop. And all this, we can get we can call a pullback, or better still, a discounted price on the daily time frame. But looking at it closely, we can see the way the buyers on the pullback on the daily. We are now going to analyze what the buyers are doing and what the sellers are doing, so as to be able to join a very solid buyers and get into either our buys or our sells. It depends on what we read from the price action on the Euro-USD chart, like I explained the other time. So, but we have to keep in mind that on the monthly, the chart is bullish and we are resting on a major level of support. That is on the monthly. But also, the fact that we are bullish on the monthly and resting on a major level of support does not mean we can't get a sell market on the lower time frame, just a short sell market. So right now on the daily, we have this drop to the sell side. We have a pullback. we have let me have my brush. We have the buys. There is no discounted price here. I mean, it's totally an uptrend. We have the uptrend, higher high, we have a pullback, we have another higher high, we have a pullback, we have another higher high, we have a pullback, and we still don't have, I think this is the first pullback we're actually having as a discounted price right now. We can see the way prices reacted, and prices is at another level of support here if we're going to look at it properly. Right now, the price of the Euro USD is resting on a little bit of support there. So what I'm going to do is this. The London session, Euro USD. The London session should be opening in about, the London sessions open in, the European session opens in 22 minutes. 22 minutes. Right now, the Asian session closes in 2 hours, 22 minutes. And the European session opens in 22 minutes. That means we'll be opening 2 hours into the Asian session before it closes. We are going to be opening 2 hours into the Asian session. So I have 2 hours to still prepare for my trade. I will not be getting into the trade, either buy or sell, until I see the last price, the lowest price for Asia and the highest price for Asia. Then I'll be able to decide my entry for either my buys or the sell for the London session. I will be trading this pair for London session, but I will be making our analysis known as we on this particular video analysis. I'll make my bias known here. I don't know if I'll be trading it live, but I'll make my bias very clear. So if we are bullish and we are having our first discounted price, the buyer's tried, the seller's tried, no lower low. Can you see this? Now we have a major support. We can call this a support line that has been tested and respected in a bullish trend on a daily time frame. And now we have a V formation. We have a V formation. We have a V formation. Then the price, this is on the daily, the price is coming down to test. I mean, we can see the range here. See the range that has broken up to the upside. So now the price is coming down. You see the red candle, the price is coming down to test the resistance that might turn to support. So I'm going to expand this chart again. So let's go to the 4 hours so that we can adjust our charts there. So now this is the 4 hours chart, and this is the chart. This is the line we drew on our daily as a resistance that has been broken to the upside. But look at the way it broke to the upside. Is it convincing enough? For me, I'll say no. If it's for me to determine if this is convincing enough, I expect a very high break, like something like this to the upside. Then we look for a retrace. Then I expect the support or the resistance turn support to respect it, then take the prices back up. But look at the way price has been reacting. Look at the way price has been reacting. They sell market. We have this range all here. Then we have this buy side that broke this little resistance, but not convincingly. This is a 4 hours chart, and we have we have 4 steady red candles coming back into the. So I'm going to wait for Asian session to close in 2 hours, 19 minutes on the 4 hours candle, then see what to do. I think this analysis might have to continue in about 2 hours, as I don't have a steady bias yet. But from what I can see, I think the sales might be resuming again. From what I can see, I think the sales on Euro USD might be resuming again, and we have to be careful on choosing our buyers. So, but for now, I still do not have an entry. I do not mind to be late. What I want is profit. I'm not rushing into the market. What I want is to make some money off the market, not to show off that I'm getting in or out of the market. Anybody can click the sell button. Anybody can click the buy button, but not everyone makes profit from this market. The market is I will say it's in 98 to 2%. 2% only make profits, 98% loses money in this market. And why do people lose money in this market? One, lack of patience. 2, lack of understanding of price action. 3, greed. 4, which is very important also, is money management. So right now I'll pause. See all these volumes to the buy side. See all these volumes to the buy side. This represents that there are activities going on around this place. All around this place, activities are going on. And even if this is a bullish trend, do not forget that on the monthly and the weekly, we are in a sell market. On the monthly, weekly, and daily, we are in a sell market. So all this for me is a pullback. All this for me is a pullback. I am only wondering if the pullback is still going to continue up to the upper side to give the daily and the weekly more a better discounted price for us to join the sales again, or the sales are going to resume anytime from now. So I will be watching what the price action will be doing for the next 2 hours, 16 minutes. Allow the 4 hours last candle to close. Then I will be active on Euro USD. I will definitely be trading the Euro USD. My bias for now is still the sells. All these are all pullbacks for me, and I will be looking for a very good price for me to join the sells all the way down on the daily, Now, look at what I was saying. This on the daily, this is a bullish trend. Now, we have to be really careful. Like I said, we have to be really careful when reading the charts. And this is not something that is common with all traders. But, you know, what is common doesn't make money. What is uncommon is what really makes money. And that's why we have 98 to 2%. So on a bullish trend on the daily chart, I mean, from this particular pullback is already bullish. On a lower time frame, like 15 minutes, 3 minutes, if you go to the lower time frame, all this pullback is a lot of bullish trend that we can see on the lower time frame. It's a lot of bullish trend. So if you are going to the 15 minutes, all this is still trading for the buy side. All this will be a pullback. All this will be a pullback. So that's on the 15 minutes. But we have to be careful also so that we just don't get locked into the lower time frame and forget what the bigger boys on the higher time frames are doing. Now, look at this V formation on the daily. Okay, so if we are going to be trading bullish trend, I'll be looking at this resistance, this resistance first on the daily. I'll be looking at this resistance. Depending on how the candle gets to all those zones, that would give me my reason to join the buys or to join the sells. But for now, on the lower time frame, like the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, the chart is really bullish. We can see the volume, see the 3 days, 1, 2, 3. Higher, very, very higher than average on the volumes. So, and we have the V formation also. So we can literally join the buys here, but I won't be joining. Like I said, I will allow the 4 hours to close. If it breaks back into this range, if it breaks back into this range, something like this, I will wait for a retest, then join in my sells. But if it retests this place and respects it, depending on what the first 4 hour candle does, then I'll look for a buy entry here, because that might be like we are trading a range. We are trading a range here. This little range on the higher side, that means it might do that. You understand? So we have to be very careful joining this. I mean, for now, my long-term bias on Euro USD is a sell market on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. But on the lower time frame, we have to be careful. The market is just resuming. We are still 2 hours to close on the Asian session. The European market opens in about 13 minutes thereabout. You have to be careful if you are going to be trading right now. I don't think it's the best time for us to enter into any trade. Wait, let the market resolve. Let the market tell you the direction at which the bigger boys wants to go, and then you can get into the market. But this is a good analysis for us this morning, knowing what we are doing on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly, which is a bear market. And all this can be considered as a pullback for us to look for a formation for us to join the sales, or allow the market to resolve if the pullback is still going higher on the higher time frame, which is going to be a higher time frame deep pullback. For now, we have the very first pullback here on the daily 4 hours. Most likely, if it is the very first pullback, we are likely going back up, because it is the first pullback, and we are likely going back up. That is to test the higher high, the most recent higher high, before we now resume a sell market again. Most likely, I'm not sure. I'm not going to be guessing. I'm going to allow the market tell me what to do. But based on the momentum of the last few candles and the way the sellers are also struggling to come back without volume, we might be having a buy opportunity to our most recent higher high. And then, depending on how the momentum gets back to the most recent higher high, we'll know if we want to continue the sales, or we are going to allow the buys pop up, have a retrace, and then we continue. And if this happens, that means we are going to be on a bullish trend on the monthly. That means the monthly trend is going back to complete. Okay? If you remember the channel we saw on the monthly that is still dead, that means, you know, if you are in a range, the price goes up, touches back the support, goes up back to resistance, come back down to support again. That means on the monthly, we are going back to complete the channel. That's going to be a very long bullish trend. But if this is not the case, if the price should come back falling, that means we are resuming our daily sales. That means we are going to be resuming our daily sales back to this zone, this very zone. So that is my bias on Euro USD. If I'm chanced before I get into if I'm chanced before I get into the sales, or before I continue a short buy here, I will try and make a video maybe in another 2 hours, then upload that. Yeah, and this is my analysis for today, 14th March 2023. I hope this is a little bit helpful. What I just did is explaining price action on Euro USD, on where I'm going to be joining, either for my buys or for myself. But on a major time frame, if you're on a larger time frame like the daily, the weekly, and the monthly, I am sell biased on the Euro USD. On the lower time frame for now, based on the momentum I can see on the last few candles on 4 hours and daily, on the last 4 hours, 1 hour and 15 minutes, they are bullish bias, but we cannot get carried away. This is a major sell on the higher time frame, monthly, weekly, and the daily. So if that helps, you can give us a thumbs up or comment below this session. Let me know what you think about this analysis, or what your thoughts are on Euro USD. I appreciate every single one. Remember to subscribe. That inspires. We love you. See you in 2 hours. Cheers.